Hello, dear viewers. It is time for the news here on Rwanda Television. Welcome. My name is Serish Nhori. We'll begin with the headlines. Kenya's President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, has begun a two-day state visit here in Rwanda. Rwanda has been given access to $74.6 million of the IMF's Resilience and Sustainability Facility. The Kivu Queen Uburanga, Rwanda's floating five-star hotel, is now on Lake Kivu. Cogebank's Tugendane campaign aimed at raising awareness on the importance of saving and using the bank's online services has been concluded. And now the details. Thank you again for taking the time to join us. The President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, and his counterpart from Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, have noted that the bilateral relations between the two countries are progressing well and that the citizens of both nations will continue to benefit from it. This was noted after the signing of memorandums of understanding in various fields. We have more with Prince Manzi.
Around noon on Tuesday, the President of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto, arrived in Rwanda for a two-day state visit. Upon arrival at the Kigali International Airport, President Ruto was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Vincent Biruta, and proceeded at the Presidential Palace, Urugwiro Village, and was received by his counterpart of Rwanda. After the tete-a-tete discussions, the heads of state presided over the signing of 9 memoranda of understandings, and President Paul Kagame emphasized that Rwanda and Kenya share a lot in common, and the bilateral relations started a long time ago.
We are very happy that Rwanda is home to a large and vibrant Kenyan community. We are grateful for their contributions to our development. Private sector growth is a key priority for us in Rwanda and Kenya. Regional integration and trade is a big part of that equation. I hope we can leverage these shared interests to equip our youth with the skills and knowledge to innovate and compete. The people of Rwanda and Kenya are also united by a common vision for a more stable region. I commend Kenya's leadership in helping to resolve the crisis in Eastern Congo with less dependence on the rest of the world.
The President of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto, reiterates that the Rwanda-Kenya relations are beneficial for both sides.
Just as Rwanda is a gateway for us into the Great Lakes region, we are also aware that Mombasa is an important port for the people of Rwanda, and it creates the synergy between our two countries, and we will continue to work on building that relationship and the network necessary for us to benefit from the synergy created by our two economies. Let me also say, in our conversation, we have discussed the issues around how to enhance communication between our two countries. It is the case that both Kenya and Rwanda have already signed and ratified the One Area Network that will present to our people the opportunity for ease of communication that will make it that much more easy for business.
On the insecurities in the Eastern DRC, President Ruto appreciated Rwanda's contribution in finding solutions to these issues.
We're all aware of the challenges around our region. And again, let me commend President Kagame's and Rwanda's understanding of the issues in Eastern DRC and their contribution to EAC as we manage the situation in DRC and providing leadership and making sure that the people of DRC who have had challenges for many years can one more time have peace and they can concentrate on building their nation.
President Kagame states that even though there was a remarkable step in finding the solution to these issues, how the world is run continues to hinder the availability of a sustainable solution.
There is very little learning in our world, in the world we live in. And that's why you find crises happening everywhere after crisis. If we learned the lessons and applied the lessons, I think we would have less problems. Like in our case, the Eastern Congo problem has been there, has been related to problems we had here in Rwanda in some way. Then other things are specific to Congo. So then there is a mixture of Rwandan problems, Congolese problems, and when they mix up and you don't approach it correctly, you tend to have a permanent situation like this.
On this first day of the two-day state visit of President William Ruto in Rwanda, the two countries signed memorandum of understandings in 9 various sectors, including health, cooperative development, agriculture, equality, diplomatic trainings, and correctional services. President William Ruto also visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial and paid tribute to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Here, the President of Kenya appreciated the leadership of President Paul Kagame, who drove Rwanda out of the dark history and now it is a developed nation, reiterating that the remaining work is for Rwandans at large.
What President Kagame has done from where I sit is commendable. I think he has provided sufficient mentorship to enough people to be able to step forward and in a democratic manner do what they have to do as a nation. He has provided lessons to many other leaders, and it is up to those leaders to do what they have to do.
On the second day of his visit, President Ruto is expected to have discussions with Kenyans residing in Rwanda. Chris Manzi, All TV News.
Now, on the first day of the Kenyan president's visit to Rwanda, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto visited the students of Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, where they held discussions that focused on the role of the youth in the development of this African continent. We have more with Olive Nhete.
While having discussions with young people pursuing master's degree in various subjects at Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, the President of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, pointed out that Africa is the continent of the future for a number of reasons.
As you train in this college, you need to know that we are in a continent that though we have challenges, and there are many, but there is a positive side to where we are. And the positive side is that this is the continent of the future. This is the youngest continent in the globe. Our mean age in the African continent is a mean age of between 19 and 21. Meaning that we have the most energetic, innovative, creative, talented workforce anywhere in the globe. This is the continent that has the highest resources of renewable energy. Therefore, you guys, the future is laid out for you. That is the continent that we share.
President Dr. William Ruto showed the youth that they are the hope of a better future for Africa, so he urged them to be diligent in what they are doing to bring the needed impacts on the continent.
I have given you a picture of what the future looks like. And it depends on you and what you do with the time you have and with the opportunities that you have. You're privileged that you've come this far in matters education. Many don't get the opportunity that you have got. And therefore, make use of the opportunity that you have in this great institution, and know that you're doing this for you, but also for the greater good of this continent and humanity.
During these discussions, students of Carnegie Mellon University Africa had the opportunity to ask questions to His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. Some of the questions that were raised focused on the problem of youth unemployment on the continent. President Ruto pointed out that among the solutions to this challenge include equipping the youth with needed skills and competences needed at the labor market.
Providing education that is relevant, providing education that prepares young people so that they can become market ready, getting the correct skills, not just for purposes of getting a job, but also for purposes of being able to create one.
The visit of the President of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, started on this Tuesday, and it is expected to last for 2 days. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Farmers here in Rwanda are asking for more of their produce to remain home with them and not go directly to cooperatives because fluctuating market prices present major challenges when they sell everything they have been growing. We have more with Jessica Gasaro.
In the early hours of the afternoon, the members of the cooperative working in Vishenyi Swamp in Kamonyi district are working to take care of the corn harvest obtained in the Season A 2023 crop. They explain that the agricultural work until the harvest is obtained after a long time, which is why it should be considered to raise the price of their purchase. At some point, we think farming is not important to us because on the market, 1 kg of maize is 600 Rwandan francs, and these people didn't even work like we did. Look at this. This is what they left us. Use it until all of this is over. Why can't anyone consider all the effort we put in?
If it was maybe 1,000 or 1,200, that would be affordable. For example, buying 2 kilograms of maize, that is too much, plus our work is determined by the season. We have to wait.
In addition to the fact that agricultural work in general is neglected, it takes a lot of time and the price of the products obtained are low compared to the farmers' effort. Those in this sector also have the idea that the increase in the amount of the part of the production is allowed fight instead of the majority that goes to the cooperative because sometimes the money reaches to them late. Sometimes they give us the money, but once you reach the market, you spend more than what you have invested. At this point, you don't get to use the production, not even the money you gained. Imagine people seeing me buy porridge here, yet I was farming it.
This must change to the point they have to remove what must be left to the farmers and what goes to the cooperatives, and then goes to the market, and maybe gain your own money to pay the Mutuelle de Santé and send children to school. In addition to that, the farmers will wait for what comes from the cooperatives. They will at least have what to survive with.
Farmers from different parts of the country who grow different crops have often complained that they only saw their last grow and all the produce is in the cooperative they belonged in. All who try to get the production and take it to their home. However, the agronomist points out that this factor is going to be taken in the expected production.
birakwiye ko umusaruro ugomba kuba uri mu rugo kubera ko umuhinzi nubwo
It is important that the farmers get his production and gain something from it, maybe be able to buy a loincloth for himself, or maybe be able to build a house. Right now we have a target of having 618 tons, so that 400 tons can go to the market, and the 200 tons left goes to the farmers' homes.
When he informed the parliament of both parties about the government effort to increase agricultural production, Prime Minister Edward Ngirente pointed out that the farmers should be allocated a portion of the production that is sufficient for them to be self-sufficient in food instead of participating in cooperative, yet the farmers are the one who put a lot of effort to get this production.
Umuturage ahinga cyangwa korora kugira ngo abanze atunge umuryango we d'abord.
A citizen farm is a way to provide for his family first. There's no citizen who cultivate and then the cooperative takes his produce. Tomorrow when he returns to buy it at the market, the cooperatives can say take 80% of what they said that the citizen will give. First, the farmers, after harvest, must say how many children do I have and take some from the harvests and give the rest to the cooperatives, so that the person has the right to his property even if he farms in the cooperative. We said it, but it won't be 2 months before we remove it.
The Prime Minister also expressed the government's willingness to remove the obstacles that threatens the agricultural sector that make the necessary production impossible, including the fact that this sector have not been invested in enough. However, the CD80 fund of more than $300 million that is expected to solve some of the problem in agriculture. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
Upon the conclusion of the 2-week-long discussions between the government of Rwanda and the International Monetary Fund, Rwanda has been given access to $74.6 million out of the $319 million to be provided by the IMF under the Resilience and Sustainability Facility. Prince Manzi with more on that.
These funds will be used in building a climate change resilient economy in 3 years, as explained by Dr. Uzziel Ndagijimana, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. These are the funds that will help the government to implement long-term program of resisting the climate change and investing in activities that address the climate change effects. These funds support the national budget. These funds, as well as others from various stakeholders, will help us in the implementation of these kinds of programs.
Reforms to ensure monetary policy operations and deepen...
Heimano Tefera, the chief of IMF mission to Rwanda, elaborates more on why the fund gave Rwanda access to $74.6 million in the $319 million.
And why Rwanda? It's because while this is open to quite a large number of members in the IMF, Rwanda being the first is because the country has been implementing climate reforms way before this facility was established. And I think you can go back and look at the IMF's Article 4 discussion, which has actually, before even the facility started, how much the Rwandan government has been doing when it comes to addressing climate. So in a sense, Rwanda became the first because even for the IMF team, it was quite easier to engage and identify reforms because the authorities already have a vision of what these reforms should be. And that accelerated our ability to bring to the board and get the decision to support the country with the financing.
Discussions held from March 22nd to April 4th, 2023, between the government of Rwanda and the International Monetary Fund tackled on the preparations of Rwanda for the reception of these funds, as well as the distribution of various activities towards the global implementation of the climate change resilient economy. Prince Manzi, RTV News.
Now, the 4th of April is the National Day of Peace and Reconciliation in Angola, a country that endured many difficulties in the past that forced the people there to endure war and its terrible effects. To mark the day, Angola's embassy here in Rwanda showcased a book detailing the development of Africa's ICT sector, and authors here in Rwanda have noted on the importance of African writers working together for the sake of faster development on the continent. Angola's ambassador here in Rwanda explained why Rwanda was chosen as the venue for the event.
We chose to launch this book here in Rwanda because we consider that Rwanda is also seen as an example in Africa of resilience, work, sacrifice, discipline. It can also be considered as an example to the African. Together with Rwandans, we can achieve peace to all African countries.
Now, moving on, the Chivu Queen Uburanga, Rwanda's floating five-star hotel, is now on Lake Chivu. Built entirely in Karongi district in the Western Province, the luxury yacht will give its guests a truly unique experience when it officially opens and sets sail. RBA's Aphrodis Muhire spoke to the governor of the Western Province about the project, and this is what he had to say.
We are happy that the Chivu Queen 1 is now pushed into the water. It's a project we've been waiting for since quite a long time. Actually, it's a floating hotel that will be operating in Lake Kivu. It's a luxurious hotel, 15 rooms, swimming pool, and the other facilities that tourists need to enjoy and relax in Lake Kivu. Now it was pushed into water. We are at finishing stages. They are putting equipment and other facilities to make it really a proper floating hotel. Yeah, it has a huge impact in promoting tourism activities in Western Province. In particular, but in Rwanda in general. It has this ship was manufactured by a factory that is purely 100% built in Western Province, Karongi district. It's a company, Afrinest Engineering Limited. It's a shareholder company. The majority of the shareholders are Rwandese. They invested in this factory mainly to manufacture ships. It is one of the kind in this country. We no longer need to import ships from outside. It has given jobs to our people. So they are participated in manufacturing and they are working in this factory. But also it's a project that has different components. Soon they are going to start a maritime academy where we will train our children in regards with water activities and ship and boats activities. But also this hotel is going to be supplied by our population. Food will come from the nearby villages, and also the staff and the working staff is going to be recruited among our citizens. But also, hotels, they provide, they pay taxes, and those taxes are being injected into government activities, especially infrastructure provision and all.
Now, on Tuesday, Cogebank's Tugendane campaign, which aimed at raising awareness on savings and the use of the bank's online services, was concluded. Prince Manzi with the details.
The aim of this campaign was to ease accessibility of Cogebank services, mainly through technology. Clients that frequently use these services were given awards, including bicycles, motorcycles, phones, TV sets, fridges, and money. Some of them share the importance of using online services. Using technology eases accessing various services. For instance, I sometimes go to withdraw money in the night, and when I use the card, I access the money fast and easy. 200 beneficiaries were awarded for frequently using the Cogebank services in the conclusion of this campaign that started in February this year. The Cogebank marketing officer, Antoine Yamuremye, states that this campaign was productive. Using online services eases accessibility of various services without checking with the bank physically. Another thing, technology is secure and it doesn't require one to move around with hundreds of money. So this campaign was an opportunity to raise awareness on the importance of technology. The Cogebank PLC revealed that such campaigns will be conducted frequently for the clients and citizens in general to use e-services. Prince Manzi, OTV News.
It is always a pleasure when you're able to join us. Thank you for watching the news. Stay with Rwanda Television. Goodbye.